Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everybody doing today? First day of February 2021. Boy, I'm so glad January flew through, especially after everything that happened last year. Maybe this year is going to be a lot different. Boy, I hope so. But welcome in, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Start of a brand new week. We're continuing on playing Elite Dangerous this morning. We've already got a bunch of cargo missions lined up. We're going to get those started. We've swapped out our SRV and our planetary vehicle hangar from our cargo space, and we're going to get to it. We're going to start working on factions, and later on this week, we're going to go pay a visit to our ever faithful engineer and see exactly what we can start souping up. So let's see. We've already got our first course plotted in. And let's just go ahead and get right to it and let's see if voice attack is going to help us this morning or not. Launch. Yep, they're still helping out. Hey, good morning, Death Angel Gamer. Wishing me a great start to the new month. Well, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. I hope to start a great new month for you also. Believe me, after everything that's happened to everybody last year, I hope this year is starting out a whole lot different for all of us. All right, now this one's going to be a boom time delivery, so this one's going to be very quick. So we're just going to get it out of the way. Boost all our power to the engines, and now we can blast off. As you know, Captain Kirk, I'm definitely not. And hopefully this will be, I'm currently out of the bubble chartering the Stellar Nursery in the Orion Nebula. Yeah, I've got to get out of the bubble. And that's what we're going to be doing very shortly. Very shortly. That's the reason why we're going to go visit our engineer and get away from here. Oh, let's see. This location is getting the 24 semiconductors. Hopefully I won't get theirs confused with the other group. All the exploration we did the other day was pretty good, very lucrative. We got 13 million credits out of it. Got some pretty good experience from it too. I've gotten so much into this game, I had a dream about it last night. Oh, yeah. It was like some kind of big interstellar war, and every group was against every other group. And it was just a big slaughter fest in space. Everybody was just shooting each other. Request stocking. Okay, that's not exactly what I asked for. Request docking. I don't even have to look. I know that was Impreed. Boy. Impreed, thank you for the 150 bits and trying to give me a heart attack first thing on a Monday morning. How you doing today, sir? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you had a pretty good night, because I know you're going home to get yourself some rest now. Yeah, good morning to you too, because now I am fully awake because my heart is racing 100 miles an hour. Man, you shouldn't do that to old people, you know? You could hurt us. You could hurt us badly. Let's give me a chance to fully wake up before you do something like that. Damn, dude. Good. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing well. Wow. Yeah, I'm fully awake now. Let's see. I know I've been rated cordial. Let's just make sure. Oh, we're going to have to come back here and do some exploration. We've got another boom delivery here. It's 2240. Let's see if we can let's see. Let's see. I don't see what I'm looking for. So we're still programmed in. Let's just get to it. Letting the truck warm up a little bit before I race home. Man, I never did that. I was in such a hurry to get home. I'd start it up and just go. I was bad about that. I was always bad about that. I always just wanted to get the hell away from the office. And most of the time, the guys just wanted to hang together, especially on a Friday afternoon, go get a beer after work. And it's like, all I wanted to do is go home. I wanted to go home. I wanted to eat. I wanted to go shoot pool with friends. Because believe me, most of the people I work with, I did not like. I think the feeling was mutual, but I really didn't care much for them. Oh, come on. Really? Is that necessary? Okay. Make a slight adjustment here. This girl's old and it's cold out. Yeah, I need to just start doing that to mine. It's not that old. My truck is now, wow. My truck is now 7 years old. I guess I didn't realize she was that old. My one before that was a 98 Mazda. I just needed something real quick after being in a wreck in the other one that got totaled. And she was just falling apart. You know, I took good care of her, but there were so many maintenance issues at the end that it just wasn't feasible. When it was going to cost almost $4,000 for repairs, and that was a good price for down payment on another one. This one's 9 and it's 6-liter V8 gas hog. That's one thing I could say about mine. My 2013 Ford F-150? Never had an issue with her other than the rear main seal leaking. It was covered under warranty. But I have never had an issue with her. None at all. I don't know why I was flying outward instead of just jumping. But she's treated me well over the years. My other one, though, man, transmission problems, rear end problems, suspension issues. A motor mount broke and I couldn't find a replacement for it. All right, let's find our station and get rid of this stuff. That's not a station. That's a moon. Oh. Uh-oh. I'm looking into getting an Econo Diesel Jeep Gladiator. Jeeps used to hold their value real well. You know, every car depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. Mine was pretty good. Got a good deal on it. The money that I could have used to fix my other vehicle with, I traded in, and they actually gave me a lot more for it than I thought I would. I didn't want the hassle of trying to sell it outright to somebody else, so I just gave it to them pretty much. Put the $4,000 down, financed the rest, and I had it paid off in 3 months. And then my wife got hit by a drunk driver shortly after that. She was okay, but her vehicle was completely destroyed, and the insurance company was pretty good. We got another brand new vehicle, and I think it only cost us about $500 out of pocket. So it was pretty decent. I need to get something more fuel efficient. In Dallas in 2005, I was working with a guy who bought and I don't know why he bought this thing, but he did, a Dodge Dually. It had a huge gas tank on it, and it sucked gas big time. You know, we tried to warn him about it before he bought it, but that's what he wanted. And it wasn't diesel. It was gas. And with gas being $4 a gallon at the time, request stocking. It cost him an arm and a leg every time he went to the gas station because this thing had a humongous tank on it. And finally, by the third month of having it, he was looking to try to get rid of it. All he wanted, he didn't care if somebody took over the notes. He didn't care if somebody could get cash for it. He just wanted to get rid of it because it was sucking him dry. And when I left that company to come back up here to Kansas, he still had it. And the truck was to the point where it was almost causing him to go bankrupt because of the fact almost every penny he made was going back into the gas tank. And the only thing we could do was look at him because he was 12 years younger than I am. 5 of us warned him that, that was going to cost him a lot of money in the long run, especially with gas prices the way they were. And one of the guys who worked with us who drove a Dodge Neon, who didn't use much gas at all. Of course, we always laughed at him because it was purple in color. But one of the key things is he never had an issue with his car. And this guy's Dodge had been in the shop several times within the 3 months when I was there, and he was trying to get rid of it. I'd love a brand new F450, but it's not needed. Yeah. My wife wants to get a new vehicle too right now, and it's like, that's just not happening. I love her. There's nothing wrong with her vehicle. We keep it properly maintained, maintenance. Anytime there's an issue, we don't let it go. We fix it as fast as we can. It's just not in the books right now. But I'll tell you one thing we're tired of, all the phone calls for the extended service vehicle warranties. We know your extended vehicle coverage is about to expire or has already. Come sign up with us today. All those little scam artists. I always love the ones who know everything about the vehicle, but they can't give you the VIN number. They know the make, they know the model, but they cannot give you the complete VIN. All right. We've got another one here. Let's see, Scoby. Well, we don't really need to worry about galaxy map here. That's my fault for saying that. Launch. Yes, ma'am. So we have to be careful about what we spend so far this year because we've got to put a roof on the house and garage. And because we've got a really odd shaped roof, it's going to cost. It's going to cost. We were already warned about that. It's going to cost. I tell them, cool, my Silverado needs a new rear end. That would be covered. They hang up on me. I had one of them call on our house phone. We use Uma, so it doesn't really cost us anything. I left the phone sitting on the table for an hour. I don't know if they were still on it or not, but I just put them on hold and walked off. I had one telemarketer call one day while the dogs were barking, and I told him just a minute, I'll be right back. I put the phone down and I went to the grocery store. I had to go grocery shopping. So when I came back, one of the dogs had knocked the phone on the floor, and two of them were standing over it, sniffing it. So I don't know if he was still there or not, or how many sniffs he heard across the mouthpiece, but I didn't hear from them again. Had a buddy that was visiting one day with me, and he brought his 5-year-old son. So one of them called, and I gave the phone to his son to talk to him because I couldn't be bothered. They wouldn't shut up. They wouldn't get off the spiel. I tried hanging up the line, but they wouldn't disconnect. So I just gave him the phone and told him to talk to him. And he was just up there babbling to him the whole time. I heard him say, "Can you give your daddy back the phone?" Nope. Daddy don't want the phone. I'm not listening to that. Whoops. I forgot I was not on. Yeah. Forgot for a moment I wasn't on Super Cruise Assist, so I just flew right past the place. Don't get me wrong, I know the telemarketers have their job to do, but really, do you have to call at supper time? Can't call when I'm not home or wasn't at home when I did work. And one called me up one day, said they had something special and important for me, and I needed to call them up. So I called them back up. Didn't know who it was. Wife didn't know. She took the message. It was a junk ass salesman. It's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just came home from work, and that is not what I wanted to put up with. Whoops, we come out just a little bit early. Well, I was just a hair off. Request stocking. I also got a friend who likes to call and talk to me on the phone. She just I like I like to talk. I like to get the point across and get off the thing because I don't like tying up the phone forever. But she just likes going on and on and on and on about absolutely nothing. So my wife and I have a signal. I kind of look at her and she goes in the other room and hollers like she dropped something or she cut herself or something like that, just as an excuse to get off the phone. I know it's wrong, but this woman could stay on the phone for 2, 3 hours, talk about nothing. She's a, she's good. I love her. I love her except for that. Oops. All right, another one in the books. Oh, so did anybody do anything good this weekend? Go out, have some fun. We had rain here all day Saturday, and for the most part, Sunday, I was upstairs working on the other bedroom. And unfortunately, I found a few little issues with it. Some things I got to fix before we can start getting the studio set up, such as problems with the flooring once I pulled the carpeting up. I got up small sections, saw issues with the floor, and walked away because I didn't want to deal with it on a Sunday. Don't know who had this house before I did, but they apparently before they put the carpeting down, the flooring up there looks like bits and pieces of this and that. Looks like they were running out of wood, running out of money, and just took anything that they could that was partially level to put it in. And the stuff's not even flush. I'll DM a picture of what I did this weekend when I get home. Okay, that sounds good. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's you now. Do I really want to see this picture? Trying to con me into something I really don't want to see. Go ahead and send it in for. I got the drywall put up. I got it taped. We didn't have any mud though. Did not have any mud. So I couldn't get that up. Hardware store is supposed to have some in this morning. I'm going to go pick up when I go to the doctor's this afternoon. Grab it. We're going to do the mudding tonight, and hopefully by Wednesday we'll have the sanding done and some of the get the painting done. I have one thing I need to fix that the previous homeowners did. They put a double outlet, electrical outlet, underneath a window, right smack underneath it. And I know that they did it because no electrician would do that in the event of water, in case the water window leaked. I've got to put that back together and close it up. Got to pick up a waterproof electrical box so I can put that in there inside a wall. It's safe. It's a Fluky's Discord. All right, man. That's one of the things I like, though. I'm always good with my hands. Mechanical, working on the cars, working on the trucks. That's my thing. Working on the house. I'm good with that. I could do electrical as far as repairs go. Electrical. Adding sockets, that's no problem. Want to rewire a house? That's not me. Lisa, thank you very much for the host this morning. How are you doing today? It's 6:39 a.m. and I haven't really slept yet. I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm sorry. Infrey, thank you for the host. It's greatly appreciated from both of y'all. I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm hoping you're able to get some sleep soon. I really am, because I know exactly how that is. I got a third delivery here. Okay. Oh, that's right. This one's planetary. I'm like this almost every night, so I'm quite accustomed to it. Seasonal changes for me. Winter to spring and summer to fall, I don't sleep. I get maybe an hour each night and pass out from exhaustion sometime during the day. I think last year, within a 2-month period, I ended up sleeping maybe hour and a half to 2 hours a day. I have sleeping pills, but it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth for 12 hours. Doctors gave me something to help me sleep, and I don't like them because the simple fact is that I've always been a light sleeper, and those things, I don't wake up easy. I don't. And then when I do open my eyes, I'm still groggy, and it takes hours for me to fully wake up. I've tried taking melatonin, but my body fights it. And even then, when I do start to get comfortable, when I have arthritis flare ups in my legs, then I have to deal with that, and the pain from that keeps me awake. So I've gotten accustomed to getting by with about, if I'm lucky, 3 hours sleep a night. Don't get me wrong, there's some nights when I lay down that I pass out and can sleep all night. That's when I know I'm really tired because my body decides it needs it. But when I wake up the next morning, I'm stiff as a board. Have problems bending over. My joints don't want to bend in my legs. Yeah, yeah. I only sleep at night if I literally crash. I just look at mine like it's a sign of age catching up to me. Age and the abuse my body went through when I was a kid. Not all of it I did to myself, though. But that's the reason why the upstairs bedroom, excuse me, sorry. It's the reason why the upstairs bedroom is still kind of torn apart after 2 years is that I've been having massive amount of arthritis flare ups. Had problems getting upstairs. It's one of the reasons why the wife sleeps upstairs in the bedroom. I sleep downstairs because I could go upstairs and in the mornings I flare up so bad that I can't come down. I can't come down the stairs at all. So instead of being trapped upstairs all day, it's easier for me just to remain down here. But like I said, it's to me, it's just a sign of getting old. I know what I can do and what I can't. Besides, after my wife fell down the stairs that day after we moved in, and me almost doing it twice, moving the studio up there is one thing, but being up there permanently, can't. But the house, as old as it is, it's not a full size step coming down. The stairs are kind of like half the size that they should be. But it is what it is. She fell in love with the house. She had to have it. She fell in love with the exterior, really. I told her one of the things when we were looking for a house, don't fall in love with it right off the bat. And we walked up to the house. Oh, I just love the exterior. I've just got to have this house. I knew I was doomed at that point. But I have to admit, though, some of the other houses we looked at, they did not look good. Roofs were wavy, foundations were cracked. Um, Phantom Gaming, brother. Thank you very much for the 9-month resubscription. How are you doing today, sir? Welcome in. Hope you had a great weekend. A resubscription is greatly appreciated, sir. Sleep in the bedroom. Ed sleeps in the living room on a couch. Our roomie's in the living room too, but on a recliner since Ed works nights. He does well. Lisa, the only time my wife and I actually slept in other rooms is when she was sick or I was sick. Or I was miserable with the seasonal changes and couldn't sleep, and I didn't want to keep her awake, so I came in the living room. Or one of the dogs was sick and I had to be in here to help take care of him. I always gave her the bed. Made it easier that way. Doing good. Trying to get my pilot's license on Flight Sim, but about to go to bed. Hey, that's good to hear, sir. That's good to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, Phantom Gaming HDTV is one of my good friends. If you don't know who he is, please click that link, go over, give him a follow, leave his notification bell alone. Make sure you tell him Astro sent you over. And yes, folks, we don't call him Booster Seat Racer for nothing. He is short. He is 3'8". We don't know how he can do iRacing or Flight Sim because, well, we know that they don't make phone books anymore. Sorry, dude. Had to do it. Had to do it. For all the grief you give me, yeah, I had to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, please also welcome in, I'm sorry, Mr. Imfree 2010, another good friend of the stream. Please click that link over, give him a follow. Leave his notification bell on. He is ornery too. He is just as ornery as Phantom. But make sure you tell him Astro sent you over. Okay, Lisa. Yeah, that's right. You do deserve it. You do deserve it because there are a lot of times you feed people to, but yeah. It's okay. It's all good. I know it is. It's all in good, clean fun. We all get a good laugh out of it, have some joyous moments, and you'll be getting something in the mail very soon. I'm innocent. I have no clue as to what you're talking about. You know, Phantom, that doesn't work for me. And what makes you think? What makes you think it's going to work for you? I remember that night at that restaurant in June for Jimmy's birthday. I remember it. I remember being so worried that you were going to fall out of that tall chair and hurt yourself because that's a long way down for such a little guy such as yourself. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just remember that restaurant staff looking at us because we were the only people in there and laughing so loud that they could hear us outside. Ah, you're welcome, Hempfrey. I also remember the way that they were looking at us when we were outside because they were wondering why we were still in the parking lot and not going home. All right, brother, gonna go get some rest. I have something I want to run by you when we finish up later this evening. Hey, sounds good, Phantom. Go ahead and hit me up, man. Go get you some good rest because I know you need it. You're just like the rest of us and don't get very much sleep. So just take it easy and shoot me a message later on today. Okay, so we're getting ready for our planetary landing. We don't have the SRV. Not that we need it for this. Okay, Freed, I'll take a look at it in just a little bit. Thank you. All right, so we are looking for Park Escape. No, 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 no. Not ready to enter orbit just yet. I mean, enter the atmosphere just yet. Not just yet. Come on around, baby. Come on around. Now, here we go. Request stocking. And there's sometimes just entering these worlds that I somehow just picture myself just slamming right into the surface nose first. Just can't help but think of it that way. Probably because I've done it in other games so much. All right, we get our fuel. We drop off their gear. Pick this one back up and head back to the system we're temporarily calling our home. and get some more stuff to do. But one day this week, we are going to be doing the 30 some odd jumps to get to our engineer. All right, let me off this dust bowl. Um, Hello. Okay. I have no control over my nav map right here. Open galaxy map. Open galaxy map. Locked out. I am completely locked out of it for some reason. Shh, it's on the other side of the planet. I can't frame shift because I can't line up to it. I can't unlock it because I have no control over this. Why do I not have any control over it? See, I've got control over this panel. I have no control over this one at all. Game bug? We've taken no damage. I can't shift anything. Um, Can't lock the station back. I wouldn't be able to contact them to dock anyway. Let's see. Okay, I got control over landing gear. So let's go. Oh, we don't want to do that. Let's go land for a moment. We're just going to land on the surface. I'm back. Went outside to have a smoke. Take my roomie's dog out. Well, welcome back, Lisa. Welcome back. Still have no control over my navigation panel. I don't want to have to log out in the middle of the atmospheric flight. I'd rather be landed on the planet or in space, and I can't frame shift drive to get in space because I've got a yeah. Hey, good morning, Redmond. How are you doing today, sir? Welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in another good friend of the stream, Mr. Redmond. OG. Great guy, great farm sim streamer. If you don't know who he is, please click that link over, give him a follow, leave his notification bell alone, and make sure you tell him Astro sent you over. I'm doing pretty good this morning. Thank you. Thank you. How are you and the missus doing? How's she healing up? Hope she's able to start getting about on her own a lot better without using crutches. Still have no control over navigation. Okay, got control over all that. Nope, nothing's taking damage. We're doing good. She's better. Doc kept her in the boot another 4 weeks, but she is working and driving again. So looking up, that is good news. Glad to hear it. Start slowing down some so we don't actually slam too hard into the planet. Catch you later on, Jimmy. Didn't realize battery on my phone is low. All right, kid, you take it easy. Thank you for stopping in. Have yourself a good day, and I will see you later on this afternoon or later on this morning. Okay. Kind of for slow landing here. Let's see if we can figure this out. Do a slow descent. Definitely don't want to hit and bounce. Now, why is this panel not working? I tell you what, let's start the game right back up. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all could excuse me for just one moment, we will be right back. Okay, we got it. Just had to exit back to the menu and come right back in. All right, so now here we go for liftoff. Racing up landing gear, aiming towards space. Now we just got to get off the surface of the planet enough to get away from mass lock, and then we can do this. Don't know what happened. I've never had a control lock do that before. No, no, no. Hey, Vithagar. Oh, yes. Yes. We got some space trucking happening. We had a problem with our navigation console to where we couldn't use it. Controls weren't responding on it, but it was responding on everything else. So we had to do a quick little cutaway, see if I had to restart the game or not. But we've regained control and we're back at it. How are you doing today? Oh, wow. Raikou Spirit, thank you very much for the raid. How are you doing today? Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in. My name is Astroglide. I'm doing pretty good this morning. Thank you for asking. How are you today, ma'am? Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, Raikou Spirit, fabulous elite dangerous streamer, content creator. If you don't know who she is, please click that link, go over, give her a follow. She is a little sweetheart. She is. I love watching her before I go live. I am. How was your stream today, ma'am? How was your stream? TMIS V2 and Nevergoat, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome in. Welcome in. I am Leo. Sorry, that was my old name. I am Astroglide, formerly Leosian67. We're just doing some cargo hauling this morning, making a little bit of extra money. Just having some fun. Yes, ma'am, I do. I may not always speak, but yes, ma'am, I do. I like to lurk. I like to watch the content. I like to watch the streamers pick up little tips and tricks of how they do things. Good. Got my Guardian FSC booster fully upgraded. My congratulations, congratulations. But yes, ma'am, I do. I like to lurk in people's streams. I don't always engage chat, but I like it. And yes, you are. You are a little sweetheart. And I hope you don't mind me saying that because you are. You have a wonderful personality, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoy coming back to your streams every morning. Well, you got to say that because you don't know how people respond anymore. I don't mean any offense by it to anybody who takes it, but it's I'm just an old goat. What can I say? And I've got plenty of people in here who know me from other streams who know that when I say that, yeah, I am. I'm glad you had a great stream today, and thank you, thank you. Did you have yourself a good weekend? Do anything fun? Were you able to get out, have some fun? Radfor, how you doing today? Welcome in. Good morning to you as well. To be honest, have to agree. Really amazing people always come back. Exactly, exactly, and that's what people keep coming back for. You have you have a wonderful personality, outstanding personality, and always so friendly to everybody. And that keeps everybody coming back. Nope, slept all weekend, took my kitty to the vet for a checkup, got told he is happy and healthy 13-year-old boy. That's good to hear about your kid. 13 years old. I've got 2 dogs who are 13. I've got 2 dogs who are 13. Mostly fine, Ranford? Understood, sir. Understood. Glad to hear you're doing mostly fine. Mostly fine. Hope there's nothing too pressing that's, affecting you. Oh, guys, stop. You're making me blush. Glad my stream ended so you can't see my red face. Why blush if it's the truth? I take it that you're one of the people who don't really accept flattery very well, or I was like that. I was. A long time ago, I was. When people would praise me, get all flushed in the face and kind of embarrassed because everybody's making a big thing of it. Yeah. My knee is almost good now. A few more days and it'll be great. Good to hear, Ranford. Good to hear. I hope you're able to start moving about on it with no issues at all. No issues. Because I can't handle compliments very well, and yes, I am one of those people. Oh, come on now. Come on. You got to. Commander Andrea Arani, thank you very much for the follow. Greatly appreciated. Welcome to the Delta Fleece. Seriously, I used to be like that too. Really, I was. When I was a kid and a teenager, and even in the military, when people complimented me, I got kind of embarrassed about it because it's like people making a big scene, just kind of a big thing about it. It's just, I am who I am. That's all it is. But compliments are always good. It shows that, people are paying attention to you. And they admire you for who you are and what you've done. And you have an outstanding community, and everybody keeps coming back because the fact that you have such a great personality, and you're so friendly and cheerful, and you always have a smile on your face. That's why I keep coming back. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she is one of the great good-hearted people who always want to help and spread happiness. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what makes you a great content creator. That's why everybody keeps coming back to your streams. Because of you. Hello, Commander Adreo. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Except when I crash into planets. It happens. It happens. We all have bad games. We all have bad days where no matter what we do in a game, we just can't do it right. I play pretty decent in COD, but there are some days where I just, as soon as we land in the war zone, I immediately get picked off by a sniper. Imfried, I swear you're trying to give me a heart attack. Thank you very much for the 150 bits, Imfried, and thank you for, making sure my heart is still beating right now. Probably won't be much longer after that. Wow. Imfried has got it down to a science of when the appropriate time is to fire one of those things, just to make sure my heart rate does not slow down. As soon as it starts to calm down, that's when he does it. That's when he does it. No, No, Raikou, it's not just you. I'm surprised I haven't crashed because of him sometimes. But thankfully, he doesn't do it while I'm taking a drink. Thankfully. I do that to somebody else. Exactly. RIP headphone users. Now it's even louder for me because I've got my volume kicked up here. And yeah, that's, first thing in the morning to wake me up. That's good. That's good. The only thing I could say is, wow. He, free, there's going to be payback for that. There's going to be payback for that one. That one kind of hurt a little bit. Well, I hate to raid and evade, but I'm off to bed. Thank you for the kind words. Hope you have a wonderful stream. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Raiku's spirit. And you have yourself a good rest, ma'am. Need just one moment to get the controller back under control here. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know this little sweetheart, Miss Raiku Spirit, please go up over and give her a follow. Every day before I go live, when she is there, I am lurking in her stream and I am watching her. Please do the same. Make sure you tell her Astro sent you over. Yes, ma'am. You have a good night. Get yourself some good rest, and I will see you next time. I'm not easy to get scared, but if I heard something like that in the middle of the night, I would probably shit my pants. Rashford, let me tell you about one of my dogs. One of my dogs in the middle of the night, always about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when the house is quiet, sound asleep, hits one of those low, mournful howls. And she's asleep. Wakes up everybody in the house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She's fine. I wake her up, she's fine. But every time she does it, I have chills running down my spine and my blood turns cold because I think there's somebody in the house. But she does this. And I don't know what she's streaming because she's laying there still. She's not kicking her little paws or anything. No other sound. It's a low, mournful howl. First time I heard it, my hair stood up. That's how bad it was. My wife upstairs, it scares the hell out of her. Hell, it scares the hell out of me. Like I said, I think there's somebody in the house, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm reaching for a gun. Automatic protection mode. And then, wow. Yes. No, Imfried, because it's so irregular that I can't. She does it about maybe once every 5 months, maybe 7 months. She's done it only 3 times within the past 2 years. And it does. It scares the hell out of me. And she's 9 years old and she has never done that before. But within the past 2 years, she does it. You have a cute dog, I have 12 dogs. Yes, I have 12 dogs. One is a Jack Russell Rat Terrier mix. 10 are 10 are Rat Terriers, and one is a Great Pyrenees mix. The last one, the last 2 The Great Pyrenees mix I took from some lady who was abusing the poor dog in her backyard because she was kicking the girl. It was just a little puppy. I took her away from her. She threatened to call the police on me for stealing her dog. It's like, go right ahead. I'll have her arrested for animal cruelty. And the other one was a small puppy. He was about 5 months old, who was abandoned near the high school, I guess hoping that some of the kids would end up taking him home. And he was running around at a road where 18-wheelers always travel. So I picked him up and brought him home. I was afraid he was going to get hit. So we were going to try to find his owners because his tail had been bobbed, he'd been fixed, he'd been well trained. We thought maybe he just got free. Nobody was looking for him. So after 2 months, we're like, okay, well, we're keeping him. All the other dogs in the house immediately took to him, and he was learning to be a puppy again. So, but we did find out that he's deathly afraid of fly swatter, so we think he was beat with them. He didn't know what it was like to be picked up and held and loved on. But he knew what a collar was, so he apparently been taken out for walks constantly. But yeah. I am at not odds with one of my neighbors who does not like my dogs. And he has threatened to do something to them. And I told him that, in no uncertain terms, that if something strange happens to one of my dogs, he better hope the police get to me before I get to him. But it was okay for his dogs to bark all hours of the day and night and uh, run wild throughout the neighborhood. And my dogs go outside for 20, 30 minutes various times a day for them to do their business, get their exercise, run around and play. My mom's done that with a couple dogs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love my dogs. They're my kids. These are our kids. My son's 30 years old, 31 now. You know, he's living in Southern California with his wife and my grandkids. I get to see him. I talk to him on the phone all the time. He's my son, but my wife and I are too old to have any more kids. So these are our children. They give us unconditional love. We do the same for them. And we take care of them. We keep them healthy, and we're with them until the very end. That's right, fur kids. They are our little fur babies, and they're dependent on us, and they provide, like I said, unconditional love. And they're there. When we're down, they're there. Scooter, the oldest boy, when you're hurt or you're upset about something, he is there. He is in your lap. He is cuddling with you, trying to make you feel better, hoping that, his love will improve your day, make you feel better. Max, the youngest one that I rescued from the high school, he loves my wife, but I'm his. He follows me everywhere, and he doesn't like it when I leave the house for any reason and he can't go with me. He can't. Because he feels it's his job to protect me all the time. And I mean all the time. It is so bad, I can't even go to the bathroom without him sitting there and staring at me the whole time and laying down to protect me from, I guess, the toilet monster. We picked up a chocolate cocker spaniel that was so mad at my mom called animal control to reporter. Brown told the head guy if somebody reports are missing or something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The day that we got Max, the youngest one from the high school, Animal control. See, our animal control officer is also a good friend, and she doesn't put them down unless there's something wrong with the animal or the animal is extremely violent. And even then, that's a hard decision for her to make because she loves animals so much, and she used to work for the vet here in town. But she finds homes for them. She finds homes for all of them. That's what she enjoys doing. That's what she loves to do. And that's what makes her good at her job. The one we had before her, she didn't really care. She didn't really care. But this girl goes out of her way to take care of all the animals. And if they're injured, she does her best and within her budget to take good care of them and get them healed and get them all healthy. And she's there with them. She buys them treats and things out of her own money, especially when the weather's bad. And we take her blankets and rawhide and food whenever she needs it. All she's got to do is call us up. We'll go help her out. I've gone to pick up stuff for her, make it a special trip just for her because she needed things that she couldn't get here in town. And at the time, the shelter was full. Couldn't take Max. We didn't want to take Max to the shelter anyway because he was so young. And our dogs fell in love with him right off the bat. So we kept him. And when she had an opening, she came up here to get him. And it's like, no, we'll keep him. She's like, well, you need to foster him. It's like, no, we don't need to foster him because the simple fact is you never accepted him. So technically, he never belonged to the city. We found him. He's ours. We're looking for his owner. And if they respond, we'll hand him over. But until that time, he's ours. And after 2 months of looking and nobody coming to claim him, and I mean, we had pictures all over town. We posted in Facebook and lost dogs for our county in the selling section for our county, even various other counties. Nobody ever responded except to say that he was a pretty boy. And he was. He's a very handsome boy and he's very well behaved. That's the reason why we know somebody took good care of him. They trained him and they trained him well. He didn't respond to his name too well at first because it wasn't his name, but no collar. We didn't know what his name was. So we just started calling him Max. So after 2 months, she asked us about him. It's like, well, we're keeping him. She's like, why? It's like, well, 2 months, nobody's looking for him. Nobody ever responded. So if they come to get him now, they're going to have to sue us because we're not giving him up. We've fallen in love with him. The other animals have fallen in love with him. And that's all that matters. He's got a good home. He's well taken care of. He's well loved. And they come now. Tough shit. Yeah, I told her that. She laughed. But they also seem to know, though, that we take good care of our animals and that and we've had our idiot neighbor file complaints and we've had them come by and look at our dogs and realize that they're all happy and healthy and well taken care of. And nobody has any injuries. It's not addressed. They're all well fed. Believe me, they're well fed. There's never any issue. And now whenever somebody else calls up to complain, they just file the complaint, say there's nothing wrong here because they know we take care of the dogs. They know we don't abuse them. But we think our neighbor just files it being well, I'll just say it. We think he files the report just to be a dick. But, not everybody gets along with their neighbors. But he's supposed to be able to make all the noise he wants and play his loud music for umpteen hours a day, even late at night, and we're not allowed to. You know, our dogs aren't supposed to be outside barking at squirrels and birds. But same with him. Can't find a home for him because they're a little aggressive, but thinks work with them to take him home. Yeah. See, our animal control officer, when she took over, they used to have their little gas chamber. The first thing she did was she had it dismantled and removed with the county's permission. She removed it. The reason why she wanted it removed is one, she wasn't going to use it. Two, if an animal had to be put down, she was going to take him to the vet here in town. But mostly she wanted to get rid of it to create more pen space. And she's done a fantastic job. She has. Since she took over about 3 or 4 years ago, she has found homes for hundreds of dogs. I mean, she has gone out of the way to find homes for these animals. Good, loving homes. And there have been some times where she's been involved in cases where people abuse their animals. But she's well aware of the woman that we rescued Penny from because of the fact that she had complaints about her before. So she actually wasn't quite surprised to hear that I stole the dog from her. Well, stole is a hard word. Allocated, saved. Saved is better. But yeah. Like right now, some of them are upstairs with my wife. Others are curled up right here in my bed. In fact, Max is laying there right now with his head on my pillow. And we think the reason why that not only because of a fly swatter thing, but we think he likes hiding under the blanket so that he can become invisible so he can't be seen. So they wouldn't hurt him anymore. But he still loves that. But it took several months for him to come out of his shell to learn how to be a puppy again. And go out in the backyard and run around and play with everybody else and playing with sticks and having rawhide and knowing what treats are and picked up, held, and loved. But boy, the first time we went to go give him a bath that first day we had him, that little 15-pound dog, he turned into a little battle badger. All you saw was teeth. Mm-hmm. He did not want to be picked up and put in that tub. He could be picked up and loved, but if you picked him up to put him in that tub, oh no. Oh no. We had to pull our hands back real quick to keep from losing fingers. A little bit of fussing, shaking fingers at him, clapping hands. He started behaving, and now he doesn't do that to us anymore. We just had to let him know that we weren't going to hurt him. And we took him within the first couple days to the vet because we picked him up late on a Friday afternoon. We took him to the vet on a Monday just to check him out, make sure he was fine. We kept him isolated away from the other dogs for the simple fact of we didn't know if he had anything, in particular parvo. We just wanted to make sure he was healthy. And when they gave him the clean bill of health, we let him start mingling with everybody else. And everybody took right to him. Everybody did. And then we got pissed off because of the fact that somebody treated a poor little animal like that, much like the old lady who still glares at me at the grocery store because I took her dog a couple years ago. My wife just looks at me and it's like, she'll get over it eventually, or she'll die with that kind of hatred. But, you know, but I've always loved animals as a kid. Always. And my parents always gave me dogs as a kid. We lived out in the country. Man, I had 4 or 5 different dogs. But for some reason, they always gave them away while I was at school. Never got a chance to say goodbye. Never knew it was going to happen. I just came home from school looking for my dog or dogs, and they're gone. They were my dogs, but they were all given away. And and there was a lot of resentment toward my parents for that. Request stalking. So when I got old enough and got out of the service, I got a dog, and I could finally say that this dog was mine. Nobody could tell me what to do with him because he was mine. He was part lab, part Dalmatian, and he was fiercely loyal and protective of both myself and my grandmother. She stayed with me. Oh, yeah. All my grandmother had to do was holler his name, throw open the back door. He jumped out of his dog pen, and he was in the house in a heartbeat to protect her. That's exactly the way I wanted him. That's what I wanted him for. And a great job. Really admire you for that. Understand because I grew up with animals. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the key thing is, my wife and I talked, and because most of our dogs are roughly in the same age group, we have 2 that are 13, we have 5 that are 11, we have 3 that are 10. Then again, we also have 1 who's 5 and Max who's 3. That when something happens to the largest group, what we're going to do is we're going to go for the older dogs in the shelters. Give them loving homes. Let them know love, let them know comfort, and just make their last months or years, you know, as happy as possible. And love them just like we've had them their entire lives. The worst part of having animals is that awareness that they will, yeah. Yeah, we've had to, we've lost 2. Yeah, we've lost 2. One of them had Addison's disease, kind of like Crohn's, where she kept having flare ups, and she had to take medicine daily. And she was allowed to balk because, well, she had to take medicine daily. She knew she had to take it. But we also knew all the warning signs to watch for when we had to take her to the vet, because when she went down, she'd go down hard, she'd go down fast. And they had to, sorry, I still miss her. And we had to be careful with her. We had to watch her like a hawk day and night. And she'd let us know when she wasn't feeling well. It was time. And when little Penny came in the house, the one who was abused, Sassy took to her and treated her just like her mother. and trained her and raised her to where we didn't even have to correct her. I mean, she was right there. I lost, I raised something like 4 dogs and iguana in my life. Yeah, yeah. We lost Sassy 3 years ago because of kidney problems, but we knew that she was going to have a short life because of her having to take steroids all the time to control her blood chemistry levels. And Bo, Bo, we lost him. Sorry. Um, Bo, we ended up losing him a year later, also because of kidney issues. But Bo ended up going blind a couple years before that from SARS. It was sudden acute retinal detachment syndrome, where he gained a lot of weight, and by the time we caught it, he was already starting to walk into things, and that's when we realized that he was starting to go blind. But the vet warned us that most of the time dogs who have that lose all sight. Well, he could still see some things because he could run around the yard and run around a tree and not touch it. He barked at the neighbor who was about 500 feet away, who was standing in the shadows. So he could still see some things at times, but we didn't know exactly how well he could. But for some reason in the backyard, when he would take off running, and he was a heavy dog because of part of the disease, and he could pick him up and put him down pretty good. When he had a good clip going and he started getting close to you, we know he could see you because he put his head down when he rammed into your legs. He was constantly running to me, knocking me over. And I think he was doing it because he was then climbing on me, giving me all kinds of kisses. But we'd take him out in the front yard without his leash so he could have his little bit of independence, and walking around, he'd follow me because I'd be making noises for him to follow, or I'd be kicking the leaves for him to know exactly where I was. But he didn't like you guiding him. He didn't. He wanted to do his own thing. So we got a park here in town that you are required to keep your dog on a leash. I had permission from the police chief, who's a friend of mine, that because the fact he was blind and wasn't one to dig holes or run off or go do anything like that, I could take him out there without a leash, just to let him wander around away from everybody else and just keep an eye on him. So we'd do that. I'd take him out there to the football field. I'd let him run around and do his little thing. I'd clean up after him, and all he wanted to do was just run around and smell things. That's all he wanted. And when it was time to go, he'd follow me back to the truck, and I'd help him in, and we'd come back home, and he was fine and happy and content. And the next time the weather was good, I took him back out there and we did it again. But yeah, losing both of them a year apart, just yeah, yeah, it did a number on me. It did a, it did a real bad number on me. And it was so bad that about the first week I didn't really show much attention to the other dogs because it hurt so bad. Yeah, it's part of owning animals. Makes you good. Makes you good owner because you love them, you care for them, you don't want to see them suffer, and when it's time, you gotta. Yeah, yeah. But yeah. But the thing is, though, is that I know that they come back to visit for the simple fact that I see a white and a brown orb that come zipping around the house at times. And I know it's them because when they do it, the dogs go crazy. They're chasing around the house and they're barking. Yep, I know it. And I know that Sassy comes back to check on Penny because the fact is that Penny's always a very active and high strung dog. And and there have been times where she just sits down and just looks at the orb while the orb is right in front of her. Yeah, the orb stays right in front of her, and Penny just sits down and is wagging her tail like she used to do when Sassy was in front of her, used to be fussing at her. So I know that they come back to visit. I know. I know it sounds strange, but I know it's them. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And see, Sassy used to do this thing when I would be washing dishes where she would come up there and she'd lean against my leg just to let me know she was there. Or if I was sitting at the computer, she'd lean against my leg to let me know, you know, hey, I'm here, pet me. Well, we feel those. My wife even kind of freaked out one night because she felt it too. And you feel it like a dog is pressing against you and you look down and there's nobody there. Or and we've had times where we've looked and could have sworn that one of our dogs were sitting on the steps and we, quick little double take and then all of a sudden the image is gone. And it looks like either one or the other. Whoops. Hey, never goat. Sharpay, who was a love dog, for some reason he was afraid of water, so bathing him was an exercise of patience. Yeah, Penny's like that. She's got skin allergies where she was getting baths 3 times a week. Vet ended up giving us something that was in shot form that she was getting once every 30 or 45 days. Well, we were getting tired of giving her the shots all the time, but she was a good girl. She would sit down, she'd take them because she knew that they helped. Well, recently he'd come across something new that's in pill form. She has to take half a pill twice a day, and it's amazing the change that's come over her. She's not constantly scratching, she's not constantly chewing. She needs a bath once every 2 weeks. Her skin isn't scaly. It doesn't have the yeast infection like that she was suffering from. Man, this pill has done amazing. Her hair's coming back in. She looks like a dog again. She really does. Because there were some times that she was she was in kind of bad shape. Dog's always on the other side of a stick in that matter. Always loves water. My little friend. That's Josie. That's little Josie. She's the mom of the three that are nine. And she was also the mom of Bo and Sassy. Every other dog runs. Every other dog runs when it's time to get a bath. Not her. She runs to the bathtub because she wants to be put into the tub. She can't wait for them. She loves baths. She loves them. Yeah, there was one day we couldn't find her and we were looking for her. Man, we were looking for her for 2 hours. We thought she was outside. Then we tore the house apart. We went, I mean, we were upstairs, we were downstairs. Even the rooms they couldn't get in, the doors were shut. We were tearing those rooms apart. Man, I was outside the house. I was running around looking for her. I got in the truck, started driving around. Wife called me on the phone. The one room we did not look in was the bathroom. And she was not only in the bathroom, but somehow she had gotten past the shower curtain and the liner and was inside the tub with them closed. We never looked in the bathtub. She was sitting there the whole time. She was wanting to play in the water. She wanted a bath. My God, for 2 hours, this girl gave me a heart attack because I was looking for her. I thought she somehow got outside the house, and as little as she is, I knew I would never find her. So my heart was racing. My blood pressure was through the roof. And the only thing I could do when I found her was just pick her, hold her, and cry because I was so afraid we had lost her. Yeah. Her little sister, Ginger, when she was about 6 months old, we came back from the vet's office. And we had seven at the time. So we put her down for a minute. She had never run off. She disappeared. In 2 seconds, she was gone. I mean, gone, gone. We hurried up, got the other dogs in the backyard, and I'm running around in the front yard. I'm looking. I'm looking under the truck. I'm looking in the storage area. I'm running around looking. I'm calling her name. Don't see her. Wife stepped outside. She called me. Ginger was standing, as small as she was, in the culvert of the driveway, standing inside the pipe, just watching me, wagging her tail. And as soon as I saw her, she came out to me, but she was just standing in it, wagging her tail, like she was playing hide and seek. She was just playing a game. Oh, I was so furious. I was so mad. I was so glad to found her, but I was mad because she wasn't responding when I called her name. Couldn't say anything to her. She did nothing wrong except running off. And we still don't know how she disappeared that fast. I mean, seriously, 2 seconds, she was gone. My heart was in my throat. We had Lady disappear one day. Lady's one of our little chunkier ones. She somehow had gotten into one of the spare bedrooms, actually the one that's under repair right now that I'm going to make the studio. She somehow had gotten inside of it and the door closed behind her. I mean, we're hollering her name in the house. We're outside. We're out in the front yard. We're looking because this little girl's an escape artist. So I'm driving around. It's a Saturday night. The sun is going down. I'm getting frantic. I go to my buddy's house, police chief. I'm talking to him. Ask him if any of his officers has taken any dog to the shelter. You know, a little rat terrier, little chunky rat terrier. He's like, no. So his officers on patrols, another good friend of ours, Jess came by, and I told her what's going on. So she was driving around looking, trying to find her. And then about 30 minutes later, while I'm still driving around looking, my wife calls me up on the phone, says, I found her. So I tell Jess, we got her. Everything's fine. I'm like, okay. I come home, ask my wife, where was she? She was upstairs in the bedroom. She was curled up in a coat that was on the floor, and the door closed behind her. Man, we were more mad at her for not responding to us calling her name than anything. But then, unfortunately, the little girl got out one day. She did actually get out. She did get out. Part of our privacy fence is vinyl, and she found a loose board that she could push out. And somehow she got her fat ass between two of the boards and escaped, and we didn't know about it. And when I say this little girl's fat ass, I mean, she's only about yay tall, but she's about that wide. She's 35 pounds. She went out in the front yard to play by herself, crossed the street, went to the neighbor's house, crossed the street from there, and went to another neighbor's house before we realized she was missing. And we're running around outside trying to find her. And she saw us looking for her, and she's just trotting down the road right to us, right in the middle of the road, like she had nothing better to do, just prancing along, having fun outside. It's like, these dogs are going to give me a heart attack. That's all I could think of. That's all it was. My neighbor, whenever his dog would escape, it would always come over to our yard. This dog was a mixed breed, and the only way I could describe him was he was huge. He was a horse. When he jumped up, he could put his paws on my shoulder and lick my forehead. When he came running up to you to greet you and he jumped up, he would knock me back 5 feet. But he was good. He let me do anything to him I wanted to. So whenever they had an emergency, they had to go out of town, I went over there to go take care of him. When he got free, yeah, very big fellow, very big. He'd get free, we'd put him in our backyard to where I could go fix his lead, so we could take him back home. When our friends with animal control would catch him, if we didn't know he was loose, she'd bring him back to us so that we could take him back home and get him all fixed up, because she knew that we watched out for him. Bad weather was coming, I'd take him meaty bones, big real bones, meat on them, just to keep him entertained, keep him out of the weather. He would sit there to eat them. He'd eat them all day. He'd eat them all day. And they always knew when I went over there because he'd have a new one, because he always showed them his new treat. And they ended up moving. They moved 4 blocks away, and when their dog still gets loose, he still comes over here to visit. But yeah, when he did a running start at you and he'd jump up and hit you, he seriously would knock me 5 feet backwards. And that's just me trying to keep myself upright and balanced with him standing up here on top of me. Oh, he decided one day that he wanted to wrestle and knocked me down to the ground, and he stood on me and I couldn't get up. I couldn't move him. I didn't have leverage. But they laugh about the fact that he still escapes now and he comes right to us. I was always going over there daily, giving him treats, talking to him. In fact, Sassy one day got out of the backyard and I was watching her and she went running over there to him like she wanted to go play with him, and she stopped halfway to him because she realized he was a lot bigger than what she thought. And she turned around and she ran from him. It's amazing, but I also worry about that constancy. It was his strength. It was his actual strength. He would break collars. They had chains. He broke the chains. No time flat. I'm talking real chains, not these cheap little decorative things that you put little small dogs on. He broke the big ones. And you could see where the links were stretching. Yeah. We were constantly going to the hardware store to get new connections to fix it when he broke them. Finally, one day, I just took him an old toe chain I had that I wasn't using. I had taken it, I had cleaned it up, got all the oil, got all the rust off of it, and gave it to him for him. Because it was probably about the only thing that could hold him. But he was strong enough, he can move this chain. I mean, it weighed a lot, but he was strong enough he could move it with no problem. His collars, I found one that PetSmart sold that it was 2 inches wide. This thing was a 1/4 inch thick. It was heavy nylon and it was guaranteed not to break. The D-ring that was on it was a solid 1 piece. It wasn't welded together. And he's still wearing it to this day. He is. Now, unfortunately, the chains and other connections, they've all had to be replaced because he's broke them all, but he was strong. I've seen strong dogs. He's by far the strongest. When he got loose and he wouldn't come up to me, all I had to do was drive by him with the truck, throw open the passenger door, show him a treat, and he'd come run up and jump in the truck with me. And I mean, he'd jump in the truck. He took up the entire passenger seat, center, and most of the driver's seat. That's how big he was. But he listened to me better than he listened to them. I never had to raise a hand to him to correct him, except to, point the finger of, no, don't do that. But what they give him to eat? It was just his breed. Seriously, it was just his breed. He was a mixed breed. He was a giant. When I say he was a horse, I'm not kidding. He was tall. He was lean. They just fed him dog chow. That's all they fed him. He was, what's the system name? Okay. Animal control, they loved him. Police, they were afraid of him because of his size. But he had a girlfriend. couple blocks away. He loved getting loose to go visit his girlfriend. If he wasn't visiting his girlfriend, he was up over here at our house. And it was easy to con him in the backyard. All I had to do was open the gate, show him a stick of pepperoni. He'd come running inside and I'd slam the gate closed behind him. Then our dogs would be mad at me because not only did I pet a strange dog, but his smell was all in their backyard. So they were mad at me for it. Yeah. And nothing strange about it. That big and strong dog is pretty dangerous. Even. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would give me bruises. When he would jump up and he would slap his big paws on my shoulders, no claws, just his paws, I would have bruises to where it looked like I actually got punched by somebody. I don't bruise easy. I bruised from him because it was always a hard blow. But because he was so big and he was so protective of them, that whenever I'd start going over there, I'm starting to call his name before I get close. I just wanted to let him know that, it's me, I'm coming. He'd kind of woof a little bit, but as soon as he saw it was me, he just immediately quit barking and was wagging his tail. He was just happy to see me because he knew I had something for him. And they knew I was over there just about every day, just checking on him. Checking his water to make sure he didn't dump it over. Filling him with fresh stuff. Making sure he had plenty of food if they weren't home for a couple days. But they always let me know that. I'd go check on him before it got dark. I'd go back over there the next morning. I took care of him just like he was ours. He had bad fleas one time that they were having issues with, so we had a special medicated shampoo for our dogs. I took over there and I bathed him. He wasn't very happy about that. He wasn't happy about that at all. And he held a grudge. He held a big grudge. I try to. I mean, I love all animals. My neighbors, sorry, not my neighbors, but when I was younger, my buddy's German Shepherd, he didn't like me. He didn't. And I don't know why, because I didn't have a dog at the time. That SOB tried to take a chunk out of me one day. I was wearing a heavy Carhartt jacket and he chomped onto my arm. He didn't draw blood, but he left some deep impressions on my arm. Told my buddy, look, your dog don't like me for some reason. I don't know why. I've never had this problem with any other dog, but if I'm coming over here, man, no offense, but you got to put your dog in the other room. This dog would growl at me. He would snarl and show teeth, and I don't know why. No other dog ever did that when I was growing up. I'd never done anything to him. Hell, I'd never met him before. I mean, I always go up to strange dogs, palm up, flat, smell my hand kind of thing, do a slow, gradual pet and scratch behind the ear until they realize I'm not a threat. And it could have been. It could have been. I mean, I've had friends who've had dogs that were not friendly at all that would come up to me wagging their tail, and they'd be in shock that, it's their dog never respond that way, and then coming up to me for love, wagging their tail, licking me, and then being shocked going, our dog don't do that. Well, he's doing it. Hey, Deadite Girl, how are you doing? Yes, Space Sheep. How are you doing? Good morning and welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in another good friend of mine to the stream, Miss Deadite Girl. Oh, I have known her for a while. She is a fantastic content creator. If you don't know who she is, please click that link, go over, give her a follow, leave her notification bell alone. Make sure you tell her Astro sent you over. How's everything going for you, Deadite? I know you got the move already done and ready and set and got everything set up. So how are you enjoying it in your new location? Getting the Hellspawn ready for school. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. See, my problem is that when I was getting my son up for school, it was that curse that my mother gave me of, I hope you get a child just like you were to me, or worse than you were to me. Because I was a grade A bearer in the mornings about having to get up and go to school. Yeah. Yeah. Well, her curse came true. Oh, there they go. They're taking off now. To be honest, I never liked school and often skipped it. I did too. My parents could never understand, though, in school, in particular high school, how I could have straight A's in history, science, and math and have D's in everything else. It's like, well, because those other subjects don't interest me. But not because I don't like to teach new things. Yeah. The subjects I like, I did great in. I excelled in. The ones I didn't like, they weren't worth my effort. I got bitched at quite a bit for that. Most things set up. Bert's working. Brother leaves this week. We're going to get busy after he goes home. She takes so long to get ready because she sits on her PC instead of getting dressed. But see, I never had that as a kid. I'd just sit there and watch the TV. PCs weren't around then. Yes, I'm showing my age. PCs weren't around then. But the Atari 2600s were. The Intellivisions, the Odyssey 2s, ColecoVision. Yeah, I remember all those. Yeah. Just grade system and learning one type of thinking made me feel sick. There's no room for creativity. Bingo. No room for creativity. Yep. I would try, and I could never satisfy my teachers. Sorry, all the stuff early about the dogs kind of got to me. But yeah, it's yeah, straight A's, 4.0 GPA, but I hated doing homework. Just give me the tests. I you see, did I those subjects that I liked? That's the way I was. I didn't need to study for the tests. I had straight A's in them. The subjects I didn't like, I had to bust my butt for, especially the finals, because they were just so. They didn't interest me. What more was I supposed to say on it? Seriously, it was that bad. It really was. Um, okay. Excuse me one moment. I apologize about that. Don't lie. Your form of entertainment as a kid was using a hammer chisel on the cave walls. No, Impreed, it wasn't quite that bad. I did have pencil and paper. I might be older than dirt, but I'm not quite that old. But thank you though. And yes, my heart still beats, so I don't need another scream to scare the piss out of me this morning. Thank you. I miss the good old days of school, real math. You know, that was the key thing is that another one of my buddies, his kid had Common Core math here in Kansas. And he called me over one day, so I went to his house because he knew I was damn good in math. And he showed me the Common Core. And his son tried to teach it to me. And I'm just looking at it going, what is this garbage? Because that's in essence what it was to me was just garbage. They complicated math. It was supposed to make it more simple, but they complicated it. I couldn't figure out the answer to the problem. Not the way they wanted it figured out. And you were supposed to show your work. Now, he taught his son like we had all learned. You did it up here, or use a scratch piece of paper, but most of the time you did it all up here. Made me think that they were just trying to dumb everybody down. I mean, physics and all, we were doing complex equations in our head. Yeah, we were allowed to use calculators, but most of the time my calculator was never turned on. I did it in my head. Why? It was math. I loved it. My teacher one day on one of our exams gave us a scratch piece of paper where we were supposed to show our work and we were supposed to turn it in with our exam. I gave her a blank piece of paper. And she just looked at me. I told her that's one of the reasons why I have straight A's is because the fact I figure it out in my head. Request stocking. So she wanted to fail me for it because the fact I didn't show any work. She couldn't prove that I hadn't cheated. Told her I haven't cheated in anything yet. Why should I start now? So she wrote a couple problems up on the board and I solved them. No extra little calculations anywhere else. I just solved them in my head. History, our teacher would ask us questions about things that weren't in the history books. And because I had read so many other books about history, I was able to fill in details that weren't quite in our history books. Our senior year, I'm sorry, not senior year, junior year, we had humanities, which was a 2 hour class. It was split between American history and English. In the 11th grade, it was the first year that the school decided to teach world history. It was more for seniors, but select juniors were allowed to take it. I was one of the few. Same teacher I had for humanities for the American history, I also had for world history. Saw her first thing in the morning, last thing in the afternoon. When finals were coming up, she decided to reverse my exams because they looked almost identical. I took my American history exam in world history, my world history and American history, and she told me if people want to cheat, let them cheat. Okay. I never copied my paper. I had one person in world history who realized that I had one extra essay question that he didn't have, and he started erasing everything on his exam because he realized my test was different than everybody else's. In world history, I had 3 seniors fail for copying off of me because they didn't realize that my exam only had 2 essay questions, whereas theirs had 3. They didn't realize the difference in the exams. I was terrible at math. I did languages easily, though, like English. There were too many rules for English for me. I didn't like it. I bugged the system. I actually hated English classes. I did. I really did. I didn't take any other language classes either. I should have. Now that I think back about it, I really should have, but I never did. I never thought about it. But the only thing we were offered were English and French. The only other one that would have interested me would have been German. That one I probably would have taken, but we weren't offered that. I was terrible at math too. Hate it so much. Funny now, IT special. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. We hated these subjects, and yet a lot of us now work in fields where we needed the subjects that we hated. When I was engineer out on the survey crews, math, I'm party chief's having to sit there and use the calculator for everything, and I'm just rattling numbers off the top of my head, and he's just looking at me, and he's still punching the stuff in the calculator, going, "How the hell did you get that right?" I just know it. I just knew it. And he actually gave up using our data collector and threw it to the side most time when he was computing things out, except to verify my answers. I loved English as a foreign language and German and French. I mean, I could figure out why our electric instruments weren't running. I could find the contacts were corroded. I could tear them apart and rebuild them. You know, the data collectors failed. I was sitting right there writing everything down in the books, but when it came time for calculations to set property corners and things that were missing, I was able to compute the stuff right off the top of my head from all the knowledge I had already written down in our books. And the owner of the company wasn't very happy that I was doing that. But after about the 30th, 40th time, he realized that my calculations were dead on. So he stopped questioning how I got to that answer, how I got to it when the data collector wasn't working. Because I can. I had one teacher who let us use cheat sheets if we want, if we tell him about it. But we don't. Huh. You figure that people are learning about. Yeah. We had one teacher who actually did that one time. She allowed us to create our own cheat sheets just to do it as an example or as a test to see how many people would do it and what kind of grades we would come up with. Of course, it was a subject I was good in, so I didn't need one, and I didn't create one. And after the class, she asked me how come I didn't create one. It's like, why should I? She's like, well, I told you to. It's like, just because you told me to don't mean I had to do it. I had straight A's in her class. Why the hell do I need a cheat sheet? At the time, also in high school, I also had a photographic memory. I could remember all this stuff. I never had to resort back to notes. I wrote the stuff down because it made it look good, but the fact is, though, is that the subjects that I loved, I didn't need to. I remembered it. Military, I was like that. Unfortunately, right after I got out, I got into a bad car accident that gave me a little bit of a brain injury. It's the reason why every now and then you will hear me kind of stutter over words. Like, it's happening today. And there will be times you will hear me say something where the words aren't in the proper order or the wrong words come out. That's part of the injury that I had to relearn, that every now and then still resurfaces 30 years later. I've learned to accept it, and that was actually one of my biggest fears about getting on cam and streaming, is the fact that that's going to happen and people are going to know. Because I've always been self-conscious about that, to where when the issue starts, I always shut up, because sometimes it can last only about 10 seconds. Other times it could go for days. I always like to be honest with myself, so in school times, I never uniform change if I could stay in the same class for another year. Yeah, I understand. But at the same time, when I was in school, we had kids who just didn't care and they just wanted to pass, and they take the shortcuts, they cheat. They'd always get caught, but they cheat. End up having to redo the class anyway. It's like, well, why'd you bother cheating if you have to wait another year to graduate? But the accident that caused the speech impediment also kind of disrupted my photographic memory, to where I can remember some things, but I don't remember everything. And I also lost about 6 months of memory, including getting out of the service and my grandfather's passing. So my grandmother had to go through that again, of telling it to me. But I look at that also as part of life. Well, it happens. We all have accidents through life that changes us. Sometimes for the good, most time not. But we're still who we are. After my accident, they said I wasn't the same. That mannerisms were completely different. My attitude was different. Like, well, I don't know. What can I say? It's amazing that everything before the accident I remembered, including all the things I learned in high school. After the accident, some things stick, some things don't. It was just hard during that 6 months of memory loss to rebuild what I lost, because I would have people describe events to me, and I would remember as they described it, bits and pieces would come back, but it didn't fit into the overall scope of everything because there was nothing before that memory or after. It was just there. And I'm not sure what they were telling me was actually what happened or not. So I was kind of in a little. But one of the hardest things was having to go back to work after it because we had just changed computer systems, and I hadn't taken notes. So I didn't know how to work the damn thing. I couldn't remember. And they had to retrain me on it. At the time, my mind was still Swiss cheese and I absorbed it, but it was parts of it would come and go. So they just ended up creating a giant manual for me to keep referencing back. And about a month after the accident, 2 months afterward, I started remembering things again. But all right, we're going to go back to the system we call our temporary home. Yeah, we're all the same. All our scars make us who we are now. It makes us unique. Exactly. I told that to a buddy of mine one time because he was so afraid that his wife would leave him if something happened to him because he had to have surgery. It's like, we are who we are. Okay. We're going to have surgeries, we're going to have scars. We're going to have events happen where we're going to become totally disfigured. Car accidents, fires, whatever. Something may happen throughout our lives that'll change our appearance. But the thing is, we're still the same people that we are inside. Sometimes we need our loved ones to help us recover and to help pull ourselves back out of the shell we're in, because when those happen, we're going to, withdraw, and we're going to need them to help pull us back out to be the people that we were. Just because our physical appearance changes doesn't mean our mental appearance changes. And he was so afraid his wife was going to leave him because he had to have surgery. He had to have open heart surgery, so he was going to be split, you know. And he was afraid that she was going to leave him because of it. It's like, you have that big of a fear. Talk to her about it. Hell, the number of scars I have all over my body just from accidents and surgeries. I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. We always fear to lose what's dear to us. Yeah. And he wouldn't talk to her. So finally, I just went up to her and I said it directly in front of him because he wouldn't do it. And she told him he was stupid for thinking that way. that under no circumstance would she leave him for something like that. Along that line, though, I had a good friend of mine who, when I lived in Baton Rouge, she was diagnosed with cancer, and in the middle of chemo treatments, her husband left her. Personally, I called him a few choice names about what I thought of him, because he was clearly very shallow. And that's about the nicest words I could call him. Because anything else was just downright. Called him what I wanted to call him for years, but now I had a right to because he just proved it. Yeah. Both you and she may. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, deadite cancer does suck. I lost my mom to it. I saw what happened to her. Because she did not want a hospice nurse or a home health care nurse in her house, so I took care of her daily. Several months. And while my friend was going through her cancer treatments, I was there with her every step of the way. I was there with her for her appointments. I was there with her for her surgery. I was there for her whenever she needed me. And I did not hesitate to tell her what I thought of her, what would be soon to be ex-husband. Because when they went to divorce proceedings and they went to court, I was there on her side. And I kept him away from her because he wanted to talk to her. She didn't want to, and I didn't want to hear it either. Because I called him a lowlife for abandoning her at the worst possible time. The absolute worst. Oh, let's see. Oh, we got time for a couple more. Let's see what we can get. Oh, we don't have time for planetary scan. Notice him, Freed. I grabbed everything this time. I'm not leaving anything behind. Now we're not going to do a planetary landing for this one. No scan. We just need a straight drop. That's what we need. $67. Let's see. $81. Okay, I could take that. Here we go. That's good. You're not showing your age. Oh, now you say I'm not showing my age. A moment ago, you said the only thing I could do back then to delay going to school was using chisel and stone. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead and call me old. I know I am. And in August, I'll be another year older. Ooh. But you know what? I'll still have a lot more Spartan experience than you do. Just wait. One day, you're going to have a little kid come up to you, some little young whippersnapper who's wet behind the ears. He's going to come up to you and he's going to start calling you old. I was complimenting you, not, yeah, compliments from you. I'm surprised my heart is still beating after the scares earlier. Yeah. Let me tell you what. The first time one of my friend's kids called me sir, I actually did not know how to respond. I really didn't. I got thrown off by it. Because I was so used to him calling me by my name that when he said yes, sir, I was shocked. It was like, I just looked at him. He just looked at me, smiled, and, just kind of went, it's like, I didn't know how to respond. It's kind of like the story I told when I did part sales car dealership after I got out of the Navy. And this was the job I had when I had my accident. I was waiting on some lady one time and I called her ma'am and she goes, do you think I'm old? Do you really think I'm old? Is that the reason why you're calling me ma'am? And I'm trying to explain that the sign of respect, that that's the way I was raised, being from Louisiana, trying to be Southern gentleman. And she sat there and read me the riot act because I called her ma'am. And then she walked off. And the only thing I could do is hang my head and shake my head. And I looked at the next guy in line and said, can I help you, sir? And he goes, sir, are you calling me old? I just threw my hands up in the air and I realized I couldn't win for losing. I couldn't win for losing. They were roughly my age. That was the worst part. Well, the lady was a lot older, but I mean, the guy was roughly my age, though. It was like, God, it's a sign of respect. You come into the place I work. Of course, I'm going to call you ma'am and sir. If I want to call you old, I'd just call you old. Couldn't tell him that, though. I already have smart butts. I'm only 11 years older than them. Oh, you mean like RG calling me old, even though I'm technically only 7 years older than he is? Jimmy calling me old, even though I'm only 13 years older than he is? Yeah. Yeah. Told him, don't worry. All this gray, I probably got from them, but, they'll have it all one day, too. They'll have it one day. Well, we know RG does. We see his. I need to send him and Jimmy both a 55-gallon drum of Grecian formula. I told that to Jimmy one day. He goes, what's Grecian formula? I'm like, are you kidding? It's like, no, what is it? So I'd tell him what Grecian formula was. It was easier to just say, I'll send you a big, box of just for men. I called a 20-year-old working behind the counter at Starbucks, sir. He was going to enter it. Yeah, don't mean you're old. It's just a sign of respect. Yeah. Still, the first time your buddy's kids call you sir, it catches you off guard. It really does. Just like his did. I wasn't prepared for it. I don't know why, but I wasn't prepared for it. It just said sir out of the blue, and it's like, I couldn't help but smile. And he startled me, so I couldn't respond. Oh, so I just stood there laughing. I've had gray since I was 13. That makes me. Deadite, I have had gray hair since I was 15. My first gray whiskers in the beard was at 22. It was, yeah, that was a sign. But I had a buddy in mine in high school. We were in our sophomore year. He was completely bald. He was bald. He said that he had lost his hair when he was in elementary school and it never came back. And he said that people always used to make fun of him, but he didn't care. I mean, he was so used to it, he just didn't care. I am 27 now, but every time he calls me sir, I almost at any title or deeds. Call my mom sir at times. I mean, come on, Navy retired vet she is. Well, yeah, but being a retired vet, though, I still don't have anybody call me sir, really. I do it to Jimmy just to aggravate him. It's that weird moment you realize people stop seeing you as a kid and start seeing you somewhat older, and it's. I think that's the key part, Ranfer. I think that's the key part right there. That they no longer see you as a kid, and you start realizing that I'm not. I'm not that kid anymore. Even though age is just a number, it's how young you are at heart that really counts. It's but yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I think that's the key part of it right there. And it hits you so fast, so hard that it shocks you. You weren't prepared for it. If it calls me old, he even sent me a life alert text. She told him our people. Guess I can't call it gray. It's white hairs, but they don't make you. No, you don't know how to respond for that. And my hair isn't really gray, it's white and silver. My mom's hair was platinum blonde. That was her original hair color, was a platinum blonde. Hers turned a it was kind of more of a white and silver. Whenever the sun would hit it, it's like her hair would sparkle. But my hair used to be bright red as a kid. It turned to a light brown. My beard used to be every color, mainly red, bright red, but it was every color. I had black, I had blonde, I had brunette. You know, I had a couple strands of white. And when it started turning gray, man, it just exploded everywhere. Within 2 years, there was all the color was just about gone. I had a little bit left in the mustache, and then it's slowly still fading out. Yeah. Send you one of our old PCs so my brother, so mom could play. Yeah, I know. I miss my mom. Miss my mom, miss my grandma. Would give anything to be able to have just a 5 minute conversation with both of them again. Oh, yeah. Just 5 minutes. That's all I would want. Oh, yeah. Keeps feeding that line of bull hockey. Watch it, Infreed. Clinical deaths. I had white hair for a few months. I had some bad medical procedures that took a lot out of me and aged me quite a bit. But then again, I also had a rough childhood too, so that added to it. Hey, DG, how are you doing, sir? Oh, yes. Yes, I have. I've just barely been playing it now for a month. That's all. Still getting used to it, still learning it, but I've got a long way to go. How you been doing, Draconis? Hope you're doing well. Hope you and Manalania are doing good. Y'all being safe and all this mayhem going on everywhere. Like we said, Ranford, things happen, things changes. It's part of life, unfortunately. Yeah, my mama's Bond, baby brother Bond, idiot brother took after their father. Black bastard. I'm the only person in my family that had bright red hair. Seriously, bright red. When I was a kid, I ate carrots so much that my skin tone was actually changing to that of my hair color. I was turning orange. So my mom, my grandma had to take me off carrots. Beard grew in. It was bright red, where my hair now had turned to a light brown. It really stood out. It stood out big time. Around here, people call you sir. They're insulting you by implying that you're putting on airs like a native person. Everybody looks at it differently. Everybody looks at it differently. I mean, in the military, it's a sign of respect to officers. Me, I was enlisted, so I never got called sir. Except by one new recruit who, like, don't ever call me that. Don't ever call me that again. That's the only thing I ever told him. Don't ever call me that again. Most of the time I just say it out of force of habit. I just call it my Southern upbringing. If you try to explain it to people like I'm, originally from Louisiana, that's the way I was raised. It's a sign of respect. Even if people are the same age as me, I still call them sir. I'm not scared. I could still outrun you. Maybe I'm freed. Maybe I'll just stick one of my dogs on you. That'll stop you from running off. Doing great. Got out of the hospital. Got out of the hospital. Got out of the hospital. Dude, what happened? Oh, you got into a new house, though. That's good. That's good. Got to let me know about that hospital thing. You doing okay? You better be doing okay. Don't make me come down to Texas, put my foot up your butt. Yeah, right. I was going to EDUMA. Oh, I love the Type 6. I use it for just about everything. Well, everything that I do. I've got one hauler designed strictly for exploration. I've got a Type 6 for mining. This one's cargo. Yeah, I'm liking them. Trying to save up for a Type 9, but I'll get there in due time. I'll get there in due time. But carrots are delicious. I don't remember exactly how many carrots I used to eat during the day, but my mom actually had a picture, and it's in the other room, of my skin pigment turning orange. It was matching my bright red hair color. They thought it was funny. They didn't realize it was the carrots. The doctor is the one that asked her how many carrots I was eating and told me to quit feeding them to me. I mean, they wanted me to eat healthy, so I was eating carrots. That's what they gave me. I had a white cat, loves carrots. Now his fur is really orange on his back. My dogs won't eat carrots, but I give them apples at times. They love apples. They love apples. Pumpkin's supposed to be good for dogs, but my dogs won't touch it. No, no, Deadite. Thank you for the offer, though, but no, no, no. Jimmy's the one who likes to dress up as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, not me. I did Bo Peep one time, just one time, and that was for a COD tournament where I dressed up as Bo Peep, Jimmy dressed up as the sheep, and Bodie was the shepherd. And that's how we were killing people in a Warzone tournament. Yeah. Can you imagine those people dying when they realized who killed them? What the team looked like? Oh, yeah. Small heart attack back on Jan. Oh, shit. Oh, DG, man, you got to be careful about that, dude. I can tell you after 2 major and several minors, I can tell you about that. September, I started having issues with severe low blood pressure that hit me at odd times. They finally found a blockage, and in November, they put a stent in to relieve it because they couldn't get to it otherwise without major surgery. They put me on a strict diet. Strict diet. I'm supposed to go see the doctor this afternoon. I'm going to try to get part of it lifted so that I can eat some things that taste good. Man, I'm doing a lot better. I'm sorry to hear about that, but I'm glad you're feeling better, brother. I really am. Really am. Yeah, I restrict her from salt, sugar, caffeine, red meat, dairy products. You name it, I can pretty much not eat it. Spices. I'm from Louisiana. I can't have spices. I can have very, very little salt. Unfortunately, my wife does not understand what very little is. She fixed tacos last night. There was so much salt in that crap. One bite pretty much was about 2 months worth of my salt diet. How much salt I could have. It was bad. It was bad. One bite and I drank 2 glasses of water. It was overly salty. My dog loves bananas. Have no idea why, but they're not harmful. Yeah, bananas aren't harmful. Apples. My old dog that I lost in 2007, apples helped keep him regular. So if he was having problems going, I could give him an apple, just a couple slices of it, cleared him right out. Now that sounds kind of gross, but that's what worked for him. These other guys, they just love apples. I'll just cut them up sometimes and put them in their food as a treat. My dog loves veggies and fruits to the point you give him a choice between meat, cucumber, and apple. He would cucumber. Ask for more cucumber. Wow. Mine won't touch cucumbers. Mine won't. Apples, bananas. Uh, we fix them special peanut butter cookies. It's a special dog recipe that's safe for them. They love those. We give them shortbread cookies every now and then. Won't hurt them because there's nothing really in them. And yeah, that just a few dog treats. When the weather turns bad outside, like it's supposed to be sometime this weekend, they're going to get rawhide just to keep them entertained because they won't be able to go outside very much. Anytime somebody threatens to kick or lose a shoe in someone's rear, or oh no, no, I won't need that. I got a size 12 double E cowboy boot in the other room that's perfect for it. Mm-hmm. Got a little pointy toe. Oh yeah. My dog loves every fruit and vegetable you can think of. Mine are picky. My dogs are really picky. Very picky. But most of the time, if it's people food, if they see us eating it, they'll eat it. So as long as we eat it first, they'll gobble it up. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, we got 12 little four-legged garbage disposals, but only 11 of them will eat whatever we put in their plate or their bowl. Number 12, though, she's really picky. If there's something in her bowl that she don't like, she won't touch anything else in it until we remove it. She's nasty about it. She's very nasty. Wife is great taking care of me. Stick to my less than 1,500. How much? Yeah, that's right, Draconis. Another thing that I can't have is peanut butter. The oils in it are bad for me. I'm hoping to get that one lifted too. Man, you just take care of yourself. You're young, man. The reason why I'm saying you're young is you're a year older than I am. You're still young. There's still a lot of life left in both of us. You just take care of yourself, brother. You do what they tell you. I sure as hell don't want to get a message from Annalanian that something happened. I don't. No, we haven't gamed for a while. We're still friends, man. Don't don't let anything happen to you. Yeah, Deadite, they hurt. I've accidentally kicked my wife with them. Accidentally. She stepped in front of me when I was taking a step and I just whopped the crap out of her. Put a big bruise on her calf. Watch out for my onion supply. My dogs won't touch onions. I'm careful about that. I try not to give them onions, garlic, anything that I deem too spicy. Bad. I'm Southern Louisiana. Anything that I deem too spicy, I won't give to them. And there was one time she wanted to give them something that she had fixed that was so spicy. It's like, oh, hell no, you're not giving that to these dogs. She's like, why? It's like, do you know what you're going to do to them? No, absolutely not. No way. No how. Yeah, ramen has a lot. I eat 1 to 2 weeks a year because I. Yes, sir. Never go. Thank you so much for stopping in this morning. I hope you have a great day. And actually, it's that time for myself also. Time for me to start the day, get the wife up, get the dogs out, get them fed, all that good stuff that I have to do every day. Responsibilities of a pet owner. Go clean up the bedroom from the areas that they couldn't go to this morning when they couldn't go outside. We have one special place just for them. Let's see who we're going to go share the love with this morning. Oh, I know. Perfect guy right here. Perfect guy. Also playing Elite Dangerous. Good friend of mine. Good friend of the stream. Mr. Silver Architect 78. I wish to thank everybody for coming in this morning. It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you for the follows, the bits, the raids. You know, I love all the chat, and I thank all of you for coming. I will be back tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Central Time. Sorry, not 5:30, 5 a.m. Central Time. I hope to see y'all then, and until that time, y'all take care, be safe, have a good day. Thank you.